Welcome back to Top 10 Trends. Ready to discover some of the most popular trends from the 80s? Let's begin. Number 1. Yo-yos. Yo-yos became one of the most popular pastimes in the 80s. They even created a whole lifestyle around them. It was practically impossible not to see a kid, or even an adult, practicing new tricks to impress their buddies. There were as many yo-yos as you can possibly think of, and then more. Have you ever owned one? Were you any good? Number 2. Leg warmers. For some, these were great. For others, not so much. But the truth is that they had a great impact on 80s fashion. Some might think that their popularity was due to the fitness culture of the decade, but it was hard to see anyone without having their wrists and ankles covered in neon wool. Number 3. Hairspray. As the iconic Dolly Parton said, "The higher the hair, the closer to God." In the 80s, it was all about having the craziest hairdo possible, and of course, that required plenty of hairspray. Thankfully, nowadays we care far more about the environment, but then it was all about the looks. It must be said that with so much hairspray, sometimes the results weren't so flattering. Number 4. Shoulder pads. When they are not excessively big, they can be quite flattering, but back then they were out of control. With the big hair and the big shoulders, things only got more voluminous the closer you got to the top. Great and beloved fashion icons such as Joan Collins or Lady D wore them with great elegance, setting a trend that made many want to copy their style. Hoping they'll be back? Number 5. MTV. It was a revolution, both in the music business and the television industry. The mix of both resulted in the creation of a TV channel that had a great impact on an entire generation of artists and the public. It was the perfect platform to present new singers of many different styles throughout the decades. With time, the MTV even broadcasted TV series and reality television programs. Number 6. Boomboxes. This might seem very outdated to us, but the technology was making great changes in people's lives then. One of the ways to listen to music that became visually iconic about the 80s were boomboxes. Plenty of times we've seen youngsters with that heavy device over their shoulder. It even became far more memorable when it played a big role in one of the most famous scenes from the 80s with Say Anything. Number 7. Mullets. They were everywhere. Everybody had a mullet. Famous people, the public, men, women. It must be said that sometimes it wasn't the best choice, or that it would have looked much better if it wasn't so extreme, but they surely shaped the decade. Number 8. Arcades. Quite a symbol in the 80s. The arcade was a place where kids and teens could both eat delicious food while playing games. Back then, the possibility of enjoying these games at home was far from their reach. Truly impressive how fast this industry has evolved. Number 9. The Walkman. Another thing that might seem very outdated now that we can simply use our phones to listen to music, not to mention the wireless headphones, but back then, those who loved music craved to have a Walkman so bad. It was the only way to listen to music outside without having to carry something as heavy as the boombox. Number 10. Fitness. It was a before and after when it came to the fitness industry. The most popular one was aerobic, and it raised awareness about health and physical activity. As you can see, they looked as glamorous as possible. Famous people like Jane Fonda, Cher, Madonna, or Jamie Lee Curtis were big fans of working out. So, which one is your least favorite? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to our channel and like this video. See you!